As a technologist, I've worked with a lot of companies and organizations over the years, helping them implement agile working and working from home. And it can be quite a daunting thing to do, even strategically. But for now, it's been thrust upon a lot of us at very short notice. So a lot of people are asking me for sort of pointers and tips. And so I thought I'd share some of the stuff that I've learned myself and learned sort of some best practice from other organizations as well. And any questions you've got, you can get hold of me on Twitter as well. So I'm happy to help and give some advice if need be. Main thing of is have a routine. What did you do before you worked from home? Because that's quite important to stick to that same routine. It's good for sort of self-worth, it's good for well-being, hygiene as well. If you had a shave every morning, carry on having a shave every morning. Get up, get dressed, get doing stuff. Don't think, oh, I'll just lay around in bed. You can still get up early. It's important for that self-worth to just keep doing the same thing. And you've got all that day to yourself in terms of getting some time back, because you can have alternative tasks. If you had a long commute every morning and every evening, you've got that time back now. Don't just use it to do more work. You could do it, to have a hobby or something. I don't know, learn the harmonica, something like that. But fitness as well, everything. You've got that time back now. Make the most of it. A lot of people say, oh, I'd love to do this if only I had time. Well, you have now, so use it wisely. Plan your day as well. It's still important to have structure. Don't just sort of fall out of bed and start working. Think about what you want to achieve in the morning, what you want to achieve in the afternoon, what you want to achieve over a week. Break work up into tasks and parcels. A lot of people do it at work because it's quite easy to do a parcel of work and turn around to a colleague and say, I've done this, move on. But when you're at home, it's not quite easy to get that sort of recognition. So break your day up, plan it, and it will help those around you. We've now got, a lot of us will have little people around at home as well. It's important that they see structure, because it'll help with the structure of what we're trying to do with education at home. We used to get them up early and shout shoes and coat and hurry up, you're going to be late. And we still need to keep some sort of sense of structure to their day. So another really important one for working from home is try to set aside a workspace. I know not everyone's got room. You might be cohabiting, flat shares, you're at home with your other half and kids as well, but try and do it, because it helps to maintain that work-life balance. Having a clear area where you do your work. It doesn't matter if you've got a laptop or you're doing paperwork and stuff, but being able to say, this end of the dining room table or this end of the kitchen worktop, that's where I'm working, is really good, because it gets you in the right frame of mind, because you're going to work. It might only be over here, but you're still going to work, rather than doing working where you had your breakfast, or working where you were just sort of like doing a jigsaw puzzle or something like that. It's a real good thing to do. And it also goes some way to replace the commute. I remember a clinical psychologist said to me a long time ago, you need to be able to walk away from work, even when you're working at home. You need to be able to shut the door on it if you can. And it's important to have a distance, whether it be sort of theoretical or physical. It really is important, because if you think about your drive to and from work, your train journey, some people swing past the pub on the way home from work or whatever, or go to the shops or go to the gym. It's a decompress from work, and we can't get away from that. We need to still have it, because it's important for our well-being. So if we can have a way of shutting off from work or distancing ourselves, it's a good thing to have. It's definitely not a bad thing. And you do need to be able to switch off. You don't want to be relaxing with your family or friends of an evening and the work's still just in front of you, just out the corner of your eye. There's a lot of companies now shut off email on personal devices and stuff after a certain hour. So try and maintain that at home. Consider your setup and layout as well. I know it's not easy. We can't all have multi-screen desks like we had at our office, or different sort of workstations and things like that. But have a look around your house. Could we use the dressing table in the spare room? Could we borrow a family member's dining room chair to give us a decent sort of posture? We shouldn't, but definitely try not to slump on the sofa. There's a lot of medical study about sedentary lifestyles, sitting on the sofa, looking at your phone, the pressure it puts on your chest, how it can hurt your neck and spine and things like that. So we don't want to spend all day and all night slumped on the sofa. So let's try and find somewhere where we can have a good posture. You think about the investment that's made at work on desks and chairs. What can you do around the house to give yourself a nice place to work? and look at what other equipment you have around the house. You know, just get a decent speakerphone at the office or anything like that. You know, consider the earbuds that came with your phone. You know, look at sort of even the nice headphones you might have to listen to music. Have they got a hands-free feature and stuff like that? Start using some of the stuff. Maybe you're going to need to raid your flatmate's gaming keyboard to give you a nice setup, but you know, start looking around. And a lot of TVs have the ability to wirelessly connect to a computer screen, even a phone nowadays. Maybe you can get your email on your phone and view it on your telly, or just an HDMI cable straight into the TV. But look at the assets you've got at home, see what you can borrow from your friends, and start putting together a nice setup, because you know you need that to be able to have that nice work area. Movement, sunlight and exercise, really important. I know it sounds obvious, but move about, keep moving. You don't just want to get up, sit at your chair all day, sit on the, you know, sit at the dining room table all day, or the breakfast bar or whatever. Move about. We don't want to start getting sedentary. You know, get the blood flowing, get the lungs and the heart working. And standing up is just an easy one. If you're on the phone, if you don't need to be sitting right at your screen, or don't need to be just sitting right in front of paperwork, stand up. You know, it's really good for you. Elevated heart rate, you know, it's good for your posture as well, loosens up the joints. Take regular breaks as well. You know, when you're at work, you might go and grab a coffee with a colleague. Some people, you know, they could do a couple of 100 meters just going for a vape or a cigarette. But if you think about it, when you're at work, the journey to and from the toilet, the journey to and from the kettle, the vending machine can be quite a distance. And we get up and we walk around to see colleagues as well. And inadvertently, we're having sort of off work conversations as well. So we need those breaks in our working day. Fresh air and sunlight is so important if you can. Obviously, as people are self-isolating, depending on their property, you know, it can be difficult, but make sure we can just get the windows open and get some fresh air, and try and get some sunlight, or if not, try and get some vitamin D in you. We don't want rickets to make a comeback after all of this. Drink at least 2 litres of water a day. Lots of posters at work when we're doing it, but when we're at home, remember to do it. And as my wife pointed out, real neat side effect to drinking 2 litres of water a day, you're going to need to go to the toilet a lot and keep topping up the water. So inadvertently, you're going to be moving about a bit more as well. So it's really good thing to be drinking 2 litres of water, because it's forcing you to top up and take bathroom breaks as well. But obviously, we need 2 litres of water a day to maintain our health. Try to avoid raiding the cupboards. I'll be honest, I've been guilty of this a few times. You know, we don't fancy knocking up a meal for ourselves, so we just grazing all through the day, and before we know it, all we've eaten is junk food. It's important to have a balanced diet, even when we're at home, so please try and avoid doing that as well. It is too easy, trust me. And remember 10,000 steps. You know, we're being told 10,000 steps is a minimum. Well, now we're looking at it that, you know, it's going to be hard to do 10,000 steps if we're working from home or self-isolating. But there's been a lot of talk about sort of fitness trackers and things like that leading to what they call self-congratulatory behavior, where you do your 10,000 steps, bear in mind it's a minimum, and then you think, oh, I will have that cake, I will have a glass of wine. Now, what we need to do now is even the most basic of fitness tracker, or these kind of sports watches and things like that, wear them, because it's going to show you, you know, how far away you are from the 10,000 steps. So you can do what you can, try to get nearer to that minimum again. I mean, possibly the drinking 2 litres of water a day, if people are queuing up for the bathroom at home because there's more people at home than normal, marching on the spot outside the bathroom door is a good way to get those steps up. But remember, we're going to be exercising less, so we might need to think about eating less as well. So just put that in balance. Work from different areas for different tasks is something I do a lot as well, because it is helping with the mindset. If you think about how you prepare yourself maybe for a job interview, is a very different way you prepare yourself for just, I don't know, one-to-one with a colleague, or a quick phone call with a customer or something like that. So if you're actually trying to even just change your position in a certain area, depending on that, it will set you up properly. And again, it gets you moving, but it sets you up for the different kind of tasks that you need to do. So it's a really good thing to try and do if you can, even in a small space. It is a nice little trick there. Breaks the day up as well, rather than sitting in the same place for every task you do. You know, it forces you to have a little break, move, and just put the day into little parcels that are a lot easier to sort of deal with and digest. And at the end of the day, if you can, it's a change of scenery, and it is a different window to be nosy out of. You know, if you're isolated and things like that, you know, just looking on the outside world becomes a bit like Hitchcock's Rear Window. You know, you really want to see what's. And connections. There's a couple of sides to this, sort of the electronic side and the personal side. Can you connect directly to your router? Reason why I say that, a lot more people at home with wireless devices, everyone's sort of the wireless routers and signals all sort of impacting on each other. If you can plug your computer or your other device directly into your wireless router, you've got a better chance of having a good stable signal. Also, do you need to be on your company's VPN? Obviously, you know, every company's different on this kind of stuff, but if you're all hammering Teams or Zoom or Skype and you're finding it's going a bit slow, maybe if you disconnect from the VPN, you're not going into your office to come out of your office again, and you might get a better connection. Also, don't forget, if you're using your work device and you're at home and you're on the VPN and you decide to start streaming something like The Irishman or pulling a load of music down from Tidal, probably a good idea to get off the VPN, because you might annoy a lot of people, because for a lot of companies, they've never had that many people on their VPN before. Now, the other side of connections, keep in touch with colleagues, friends and family. You know, there's been a lot of reports and studies recently about loneliness and things like that, and separation that people are feeling, and that's before we all started working from home. It's so important, keep in touch with everyone, and no one's going to be annoyed that you're calling them up a lot, because they're going through the same as well. So do keep in touch. Think about things like virtual coffee breaks as well. You can set up little groups within your teams, whether it be phone calls or, you know, things like Teams or Zooms or Skype. Technology's making the world smaller for us. I'm aware some companies already are doing sort of virtual 5 o'clock on a Friday night, and I know some neighborhood community groups are doing it as well. So think about little things like that, you know, little light-hearted things, because those little bits of banter and conversations, they were happening at the workplace as well, and we need to keep them going, because it's a good way to sort of just get to know our colleagues and keep ourselves in touch. And something I always think, hearing's better than reading, seeing's better than hearing. So if you can, and the reason why I've done this with a camera, video contact's always better with your friends and family. It feels a lot better than, you know, if you think about writing a letter, email, then a telephone conversation. The whole face-to-face video thing, it's a lot better, lot more personal, and it brings a new element to it that a lot of people haven't done before. So why not? Video is always better, and it just, you know, makes you feel good sometimes. Especially little things can happen that are light-hearted, and at the end of the day, no one's judging you. We're all working from home. No one's expecting to see you sitting there in your best 3-piece suit. Don't worry about if you've got 5 different paint match pots on the wall while you're working out what to decorate. We're all working from home. If the cat jumps in front of the camera, if one of the kids walks in the room, everyone remembers this guy, and, you know, no one judged him, and that was a bit of fun, and, you know, everyone still remembers it, but it's gonna happen. And if your kid comes in, or your cat jumps in, or your housemate comes in, it's gonna lighten the mood for everyone, so don't worry about it. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Like I said, you know, you can get hold of me on Twitter. Any questions you've got, like I said, these are just things I've learned, things I've picked up from other companies as well, and bits I've read and stuff. Main thing, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.